It's Natalie. Um, so I just want to tell you guys a really cool story. Something awesome happened, and I feel like I need to share it, and I haven't shared it enough. Um, so lately, I have been asking my spirit guides for help. And if you don't know what a spirit guide is, that's cool. I only learned about it because of my friend Donna Boyle, who's a medium, um, talks about it a lot. Um, a spirit guide is basically someone that is assigned to help you throughout life, right? So you have like a protector guide, you have an alchemist guide, you have all these other different guides, inner and outer band guides. She has a lot of good videos on it, but I'm not going to go into that. I want to get into what my guides did for me. and This video isn't really geared specifically towards guides. If you're not someone that believes in something like that, that's fine. If you're someone that just believes in setting intentions and letting them out into the universe, I would say that's equally as awesome. Keep at it. And if you're someone that prays, same thing, right? You could pray to the universe, you could pray to whatever God it is that you believe in. It's all about the power of belief. So for me, I have been calling on my guides lately, and I had a really cool experience in December where I called on them, and I was flying from Seattle to San Francisco and then back from San Francisco over to Seattle, and it was during the holidays. I was just kind of really anxious about the whole thing because I know during the holidays people get really frazzled and it can just be kind of difficult to fly during that time, right? You're picking up a lot of people's energies, things might be going wrong. I was just assuming the worst. Um, so before my flight, I told my guides, hey guides, I could really use some help on this flight. Anything you could do to just kind of make it fun, make it easy on me, I would so appreciate that. So the night before I fly out of Seattle into San Francisco, I am checking in, and they have this option to upgrade to first class for $50. So I kind of like looked into it, and I realized that you get to check in a free bag when you do that. And I was going to be checking in a bag and having to pay $30. So I said, awesome. I'm going to pay $20 more to fly first class. I've never flown first class before, so it was already like super exciting and I was looking forward to it. So I ended up doing that. And then I have the first class experience. They had like sparkling wine, this like hot towel, um, just a really nice meal. And it was just so easy. Like I was on the plane, out of the plane, because I was like the second row, and it was just super awesome. So I was like, thanks, guides. That was super awesome. I got to fly in first class. Um, so then my experience coming back home, I was actually flying from SFO into Everett, and Everett now has an airport for local Seattle people. Um, so the night before that flight, they asked if anyone would be willing to volunteer, so to give up their seat for someone else. And they said, what is the amount of voucher that you would accept? Like 100, 150, 250. And I did it, but I wasn't really that excited about it because my flight was supposed to leave at 11, and the flights that they were asking people to switch to left at like 5 or 6. And I didn't really want to be stuck at the airport, but I knew that, hey, let me just volunteer myself. You never know what could happen. So I end up getting to the airport, um, and we're almost getting ready to board when the front desk agent says, hey, if anyone is willing to give up their seat, um, we have a $500 voucher for anyone that wants to leave or is willing to leave at 1:30. So I was like, that sounds awesome. And I'm like looking around, and no one's like running to do that. And I'm just like, okay. But there was one guy who got in front of me, and I was thinking, should I cut this guy off? I want this voucher. He's not even going to appreciate this voucher as much as me, right? But I was like, no, Natalie, get behind the guy. Don't be a hoochie mama. So I did, and the guy put his name down, and then I walked up and I explained to the guy, yeah, I'd like to sign up if you still need space. I did put myself on the volunteer list yesterday. I don't know if that makes a difference. He said, okay, just go ahead, sit down. We'll let you know if we need you. I was like, cool. So he ends up calling that man that was in front of me to board, and he's like, yeah, we don't need you. So the guy's like, okay, thanks, bye, right? Then all of a sudden, this man with a big briefcase running up to the thing. And the Benny guy is like, "Oh yes, sir, we'll get you on the plane. Don't worry, we'll get you on the plane." So, Miss Rodriguez, yes. So I walk up, and he says, "So I know that you had signed up for the $250 voucher." And I said, "Yeah, that's right." So I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna give me $250. Hey, I'm totally happy with that. I only have to wait an hour and a half. But he ends up saying, "We're gonna give you the $500 gift voucher because that's our future flight voucher because that's what we promised. And I also want to give you $20 to use while you're here at the airport at any place you want to eat, or grab a drink while you're waiting." And I'm like, "Did this just happen?" And I was just like so over the moon, you guys, because $500 is a lot. I mean, that could like totally get me somewhere fun, right? If I plan ahead. So I was just so happy, and I like made sure that he could see my happiness and feel it too, because I was super duper grateful, and he was such an awesome guy. So then I have an hour and a half in the airport, and I'm like, it had been a while since I had been to SFO, and I start to walk around, and it's like a theme park in there. Okay, I went to like awesome bookstore, Compass Books. They had a beautiful Pete's Coffee. They had all these different places to eat, and I went and I bought a little pin that said San Francisco on it, and I got a really cool magnet. I didn't like any of the books in the store. I'm just walking around having the best time. And then finally, I'm getting ready to board from SFO into Everett, and they call my name again. So I walk up to get my boarding pass, and I'm like, "Oh, I hope everything's okay." And I see that I'm like boarding group one, which was a little strange to me because I was supposed to be farther in the back. So I grab my new boarding pass, I get on the plane, and I'm like, this seat number looks a little weird. You guys, they ended up putting me in first class again. I was like, are you kidding me? So, anyways, all I have to say is that that was my guides, okay? And I've flown probably around 70 times in my entire life, like I would go every year as a kid to Costa Rica to visit my grandparents. And then I've flown for work. I've flown for personal trips, like easily 70 trips in my entire life. And I've never, ever had an experience like that. And I've also never asked for help from my spirit guides before when I booked a trip. So this just goes to show you that there is power in setting intentions. You are allowed to ask for help, and you should absolutely ask for help. And I think it's great because they won't interfere with like any lessons that you're meant to learn. So if there is something you're meant to learn, you're just going to have to go through the motions. But with life being so difficult these days for so many of us, it's worth asking for help. And they love to do it too. It's just kind of like calling on your parents or like a grandparent or something. And, they get a lot of satisfaction from it because they're your tribe and they're someone that is there specifically for you. So I hope you got something out of this. I love to talk about this stuff. So if you ever have questions or you just want to kind of like say like, "Hey Natalie, how can I connect with my guides?" or you want to know more, feel free to call me, send me a text, send me a message. Me and my friend are actually starting a spiritual group here in Seattle, and there's 3 of us so far. So if you are local and you're someone that is interested in spirituality and learning more about it, we're not going to subscribe to any particular belief system. We're going to welcome everyone. So, yeah, just open heart, open mind, and call on your spirit guides. Bye, guys.